Surviving is the same thing as winning. By Please Now 123. Chapter 2. Elimination Rounds Part 1. All the other teams who had passed the Forest of Death were already lingering on the balcony when Team 7 entered through a small inconspicuous side door. Kakashi's eyes scanned the room as he kept his kids close and noted the attention that focused on them as they entered. Asuma's team was the closest to their entrance, and Kakashi took in the way Asuma's team were now staring at his kids, looking a shade paler. Kakashi wondered if they had perhaps caught sight of any of their battles and been smart enough not to get involved, but cowardly enough not to help a fellow Konoha team. Kakashi supposed he couldn't really blame some genin for not engaging a Sannin or assassination team. Hayate called the genin down, and Kakashi watched them closely as Hayate gave a speech. His kids looked calm and collected, shoulders brushing as they gave a united front, Sasuke and Naruto flanking Sakura to make up for her still slightly swollen eyes. Hayate was going over the rules of the next stage and waiting to see if anyone gave up now. Only one boy, a silver-haired tall genin, did. Kakashi's eyes sharpened on the boy when he saw Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura all give him suspicious glances. He had personally trained and cultivated his students' instincts, and he knew when to trust the three. That all three were in agreement of their suspicions was like a blaring sign to Kakashi. He made some subtle, sharp hand signs at one of the Anbu cloaked in the corner of the room, and really couldn't tell when he vanished, but knew he would follow up. His students trudged back up to him, faces calm despite their exhaustion, as they flipped down, leaning against his legs. He absently handed out head pats as they curled up at his feet. The large signboard started to flip through names, and Kakashi watched carefully. 17 genin passing the Forest of Death meant 8 matchups and 1 double fight. Since 3 of those names were students, there were good odds they may have to fight, but Kakashi glanced at the Hokage, who watched said board calmly. There was no way the Hokage didn't have a way to rig the signboard. He would have to trust that the Hokage would keep his students from fighting one another, at least until the final round, at the actual combat stage. That was a fight that would need spectators to fully enjoy. First match, Naruto versus Yoroi. Get luck! Sakura patted Naruto on the back. Thanks, Sakura! Don't make a fool of Team 7. Sasuke grumbled. If anyone's going to do that, it's you, bastard! Naruto laughed, obviously fond despite the name-calling. Make sure not to show off too much. Kakashi smiled at the blonde. Maybe try to be discreet. You will want to keep some aces up your sleeve. Naruto gave him a mock salute and leapt down to the floor, and Kakashi wasn't worried. Naruto had the most energy of the three. Besides that he had read up on all the teams, and he knew that this Yoroi had the ability to suck out chakra, which would be useless against Naruto's massive stores. The guy was in for a bit of a surprise, especially since Naruto wouldn't use chakra to fight, due to whatever Orochimaru had done, just to be safe. At last of his graduating class, Yoroi snorted. This will be easy. Bring it on, you bastard! Naruto grinned, though there was much less friendliness in this grin. Sasuke and Sakura and Kakashi had all worked on training him out of knee-jerk reactions of defensive yelling. They had calmed his energy a tad, smoothed his hackles, and taught him not everyone's opinions mattered, only theirs, and they knew the truth. They had taught him to focus his anger, his indignation, into a sharp blade, instead of loud wastes of energy. Hayate cleared his throat and stepped between the two to give the official signal. Your team looks like hell, Kakashi. Asuma greeted as he stepped up beside Kakashi, guys lighting near as well. Well, that's what happens when you face off against a Sannin and then an assassination squad, Kakashi said cheerfully, turning back to watch Naruto. The fuck? Asuma muttered, obviously not up to date on the info. Do you think your student will win? Guy boomed tearfully, obviously knowing exactly what Kakashi was talking about. There is no doubt, Kakashi nodded seriously. And down in the ring, Hayate had started the match. Naruto went barreling at the other boy, fists raised. Only a few of the sharpest eyes caught the metal bands around Naruto's fingers. Yoroi deflected a few blows, ducking under Naruto's wide swings, but then Naruto spun, snaking his arms in the boy's guard and grabbed him by the shoulders when he tried to dodge. The boy gave the startled, half-paid scream, startling a few viewers even as Naruto grinned, gripping tighter. Naruto engaged him in a close-range tussle, using his legs to kick and keeping a tight hold. The boy flailed at the pain and the unexpected close combat. When Naruto did let go, he leapt back to make some distance. Yoroi hissed, shakily touching the deep puncture wounds on his shoulders. Naruto grinned tearfully and waved, the blood-dripping metal on his hands now visible. "Karute," Asuma identified with a surprised look. Kakashi nodded, not saying anything about how Naruto was a natural with them, and as such wore some that were a tad sharper and longer, ridged more like saws. Anyone else would have risked cut palms and fingers, but Naruto was dexterous, and with his healing rate, a few gouges didn't matter. Yoroi rushed Naruto, hands glowing. Naruto dodged, and Kakashi could see Yoroi growing frustrated as his signature technique seemed to do nothing to Naruto's boundless energy. That's what you got for being a one-trick pony against someone who was immune. "Why isn't it working?" the boy demanded. Naruto clearly hadn't caught on to what the boy was doing and simply launched himself at the boy without answering. This time the boy dodged his grabs, but then Naruto switched techniques, going for open palmed blows that Sasuke had taught him. With the karute on his hands, these were spiked smacks that caught the boy in the chest, knocking the air out of him and gouging his skin. While the boy fell back, Naruto twisted and clobbered him over the head with a sharp blow that sent him sprawling. Hayate watched a moment, then declared Naruto the winner as the boy was deemed unconscious. "You said to be discreet, was that good?" Naruto asked with a grin as he joined them. "I didn't use any jutsu or nothing, just my karate." "It was perfect. Good job," Kakashi cheered, ruffling the boy's hair. Naruto beamed, pleased as he slipped the bloody karate off his hands and tucked them away. "Oh, but he graduated. His taijutsu was appalling," Asuma muttered as Naruto stretched himself flat on the ground, looking ready for a nap and ignoring the other jonin. Asuma had muttered, but Naruto had sharp hearing. Kakashi was glad at times like this. He had helped make sure Naruto understood other people would speak up for him, and that sometimes you needed to keep words inside and think before you spoke. He could hear Asuma's comments, but he trusted Kakashi to deal with the other jonin instead of getting insulted. "It still is!" Guy laughed. "That was a mess of styles and techniques." "What? It worked," Kakashi pointed out. "Naruto isn't the type of kid to master a smooth, graceful style. He's a roller type. We just gave him the moves he could use, and he makes them work." Guy laughed, not at all upset at the obviously messy, almost taijutsu-offending fighting Naruto was picking up. Next match, Tamari versus Tenten. Kids, perk up here," Kakashi said, nudging his students where they were half drifting around his feet. "Remember I mentioned a budding weapons mistress?" They perked up now, hearing the bunned girl. Guy beamed near him at the recognition of his student. They watched the match avidly, wincing as they realized how terrible it was for a weapons master, especially one who favored long-distance weapons, to go up against a wind user. "Always remember there is someone better than you, and there is always something that will have an advantage over your techniques," Kakashi said out loud, despite the fact they obviously knew that. They watched Tenten lose despite her repertoire, and Kakashi gave them a quick quiz on what jutsu could have been better or what taijutsu or genjutsu would have worked. His kids gave sleepy answers, but watched the match till the end where they applauded despite the harsh finish to the match. Sometimes things just land up terribly, and it would do good for his kids to remember that.